times get tough in your career or your personal life, how are you going to arm yourself psychologically so that you can see through the rough patches and still stay motivated to progress through your goals? That's the question of the day, and that's what we're here to answer. Hello rock stars, Matt Vanderbo here, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you what I think is perhaps the most important thing that you need to understand about whether it be a career in the music business or a career any other place or your personal relationships or any hobby that you have. And that is that you must find joy in the process. And if you don't find the process or whatever it is you are involved in to be an enjoyable experience, even subtracting all of the successes, then you are probably in the wrong profession or doing the wrong hobby or with the wrong person. And to illustrate this concept, I want to share some things that I have learned from my bodybuilding coach of all people. So my coach is a very learned guy. In fact, he's getting his PhD right now in performance psychology. And one of the things that he is researching and trying to get a very firm understanding of is what prompts elite athletes to stay motivated and continue pushing forward in their athletic pursuits when other people who might be equally, if not more talented than them and more gifted and more better at whatever it is they do, when those people cease progressing and just kind of drop off, what prompts these other people to keep going? So it's the study of performance psychology, which is a really interesting thing because you look at any major sport and you have these elite high-level achievers that just seem to be able to do everything, and they keep at it beyond the normal career lifespan of other people that practice their craft. So what keeps them going? My bodybuilding coach is always harping on the importance of a chemical in the body called dopamine. Now, I could try to explain to you what dopamine is, but I am not a human biologist or a chemist or whatever. I barely know how to make music, people. So I'm not going to tell you what dopamine is, but from what I understand of it is that it is this chemical in your body that is produced, and it has this pleasurable effect on our bodies when we do something that is pleasurable to us. So our body releases dopamine when we achieve some type of success or have some type of enjoyment with whatever it is that we are doing. And that could be the enjoyment of eating food. This is why a lot of people tend to overeat, because the pleasure is releasing dopamine and it's making someone feel good. And, oh, I feel great when I eat. So they continue to keep eating. Or on the flip side, this is the same chemical that can inspire ultra marathon runners to keep running even though they have already ran for 100 miles or more non-stop. Dopamine is one hell of a drug. But in this case, the drug is produced by our own bodies as a result of our own actions and our own successes. So I'm sure you guys are all well aware of the phenomenon where at any gym or health club, there will always be an influx of new members around January 1st. It's the New Year's resolution crowd. And this crowd is like, they are gung-ho right out of the gates. I mean, they got the whole thing. They got the lifting gloves. They got the new shoes. They got the tight shorts. The whole night. They're walking around with their duffel bag. They got protein shakes. And everything that you need at a gym, they've got it. And they're walking around puffed up at the gym for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden you don't see them anymore. That's the New Year's resolution crowd. And this is how dopamine plays a role in inspiring them to get into the gym, but also what makes them flame out. So when January 1st rolls around, the New Year's resolution crowd is very hyped up, and they've got their workout plans all ready to go. They've got a goal. They've got weight loss targets. They've got all these things. And in the first couple weeks of any exercise routine, that's where things are fun. Okay, so these people are enjoying the process. It's a new thing to them, and they're probably seeing a lot of very quick results as well. And you combine the novelty factor, which is the newness of the experience, with the very quick results, and you've got like a double whammy of goodness coming into these people. So woof, they're feeling very good. This dopamine is just going through their body, and they're like, yeah, baby. But then by about week 3, week 4, maybe sometime into February is where these people start flaming out, because their success starts to plateau. Whereas they might have lost 5 to 7 pounds in the first couple weeks, and they were feeling really good about thinking, well, gosh, if I take
5 to 7 pounds every 2 weeks, well, at the end of 3 months, I'll be down 21 pounds. Man, give me a year and I'll be a whole different person.
But after about 3 weeks, their weight loss starts to plateau and it levels out. And that is very discouraging to a lot of people. So all of a sudden, you're losing one of the dopamine givers in this process. And the second thing is the process is no longer new. It's not novel anymore. In fact, dare I say, it has become boring to these people. It's not a fun, exciting experience. It's kind of a more,
oh gosh, I really got to go to the gym again today. This sucks.
It's boring, it's tedious, and it might even be painful and not pleasurable at all. It may in fact turn into a miserable experience for some people. So now the novelty is gone and the results are gone. And on top of that, now the person is realizing that, holy crap, if I really want to look good, I am going to have to keep coming to the gym every day ad infinitum if I really want to get the kind of physique or weight loss that I would like to have. Like, this gym routine is going to be a constant presence in my life. I can't just like do 2 months and be like, yeah, it's good. Now I'll just ride it out from here and reset my baseline. It doesn't work that way. And people start to figure that out after a while, and that can be very discouraging. So all the dopamine is gone, and replacing it is the crushing realization that success in the body physique world is going to take years and in fact a lifetime worth of work, which means the dopamine has left the system. And without that dopamine drive, these people lose all motivation and they just hang up their shoes, put away their gym shorts, and you never see them at the gym after about February 14th, except when they come in to cancel their membership. Now, the parallel I want to draw between that and music is this. A lot of times people come into the sync music business because they went to a music conference or they talked to a friend who is doing it and they get all jacked up and excited. They're like, oh, I really want to do this. Is going to be so awesome. And I know what kind of money so-and-so is making. And they say they're not that good at what they do and I'm better, so I could probably do this. And they start off really, really hot and heavy. And their friends will invite them out to dinner and they'll say,
no, I can't go to dinner tonight. I got to go to the studio, because I'm going to be a full-time musician.
And it's exciting and it's fun and it's novel. And that will drive someone into this intense realm of focus and motivation for a while. And these people will put a month or 2 months in with tunnel laser vision, and they will be hyper vigilant on making a lot of music in this short window of time. But eventually, just like people at the gym, the novelty factor or the newness element does wear off, and this becomes a very monotonous and tedious job, just like any other job you are going to do in this life. And when that happens, the dopamine drive starts to wane and you have to find new ways to push yourself forward. Now, one of the big drivers that you will have that keeps giving you the old proverbial kick in the ass to keep moving forward is when you get little successes. Those would be things like maybe it's just getting a forward through taxi, or maybe it is signing some library deals or your first library deal. Maybe it is landing your first placement or your 100th placement or getting your first commercial sync that pays $10,000. It could be any number of things, but there are always going to be these little successes along the way that keep our dopamine going so that we can stay motivated. And we say, gosh, if I did this once, then I can do it twice, and then I'll just keep going and the snowball will just keep building, which is true, but it's hard to stay motivated if those successes are not happening for you yet. And this is the trap a lot of new composers fall into. And I've said this on my channel a million times already, but it bears repeating, so I'll say it again. You are not going to see many or any successes for a long time in this business. Now, by successes, I mean the measurable metrics of getting music signed, getting it to libraries, getting it placed on TV shows, collecting the royalty checks, etc. And so you have to create new metrics that will keep you motivated. And that could be as simple as making 3 tracks a week. And every week you have a little party for yourself if you hit your 3 tracks and beat your weekly goals. You have to treat yourself to some type of celebration. And it doesn't need to be a physical celebration. It could just be an emotional thing. But you need to acknowledge the fact that you are on the right track and you are succeeding. Because if you don't have that and all you have left is the knowledge that, number 1, this job has already gotten boring. Number 2, you have no money to show for it. Number 3, you have no signed songs, no placements, no nothing to show for it. And number 4, you finally realize that it's going to take years of doing this one thing repeatedly before you ever do see any of that success. Well, this is where you need to have that dopamine drive or the dopamine release of achieving other little incremental successes along the way. But failing all that, what this really boils down to is that you need to enjoy the process of making music or doing anything. I mean, you could be a hobbyist in the kitchen and you just want to bake. And that's fine. If you enjoy the process of baking, even though there is no payout for it, and you're the only one that ever eats the food, but it has some type of cathartic thing for you, then by all means, keep baking. Same thing with making music. If you have nothing to show for it at the end of 2 or 3 years, but you still enjoy the process, then keep making music, because that's what's really going to drive you. It's not the successes. It is the joy of the process. And you need to understand that if the process is enjoyable, you will be able to weather the storm. But if you have gotten to the point where you've realized that you do not enjoy the process anymore, then here's a little newsflash for you. This might not be the business for you. And I don't mean to talk you out of it. I'm just saying that you have to enjoy the process of doing something, because that is the only thing that is going to sustain you for the long haul. A lot of people love to go running or they love to go swimming, and there is probably no monetary payout for them from those things, but they enjoy the process and so they do it. And that's what we need to fall back on when it comes to making music. When you subtract all of the successes and all of the goals that you have to enjoy the process of making music. But if at any point you find yourself completely miserable and depressed at even the mere thought of going into your studio and opening up Pro Tools or arming a record button and singing into a microphone, then at that point it's going to be very hard to stay on the path. So the moral of this story is you have to find joy in the process. And there is a lot of joy in the process of making music. I can't imagine any profession really that has the same amount of emotional enjoyment that I get from making music. And to think that I get paid for it is just, I still can't believe it. Really, I've been doing this for 15 years and I still find the process to be unbelievably enjoyable and exciting. And I realize how lucky I am to be able to do that. Anyways, I enjoy making music, and that is really what drives me. Because at the end of the day, money is just money. We can make money doing anything. It's like I could go get a corporate 9-to-5 job where I wear a suit and tie and probably make the same amount of money that I make creating music. But I would not be happy over there because I would not enjoy that process. Whereas the enjoyment I get from my musical career is what fulfills and sustains me. Okay, so enough on that video today, guys. We are winding down this Music 201 series. I think I only have 1 or 2 videos left, so you're almost at the end of this course. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm gonna end this video with a joke. Did you guys hear about the dude who created Tic Tacs? They say he made a mint. That's a good one. All right, rock stars, catch you later. Toodles.